What's up, spectators? Welcome back to an episode of Last Window. Last time, we saved Marie from leaping off the building because she's being blackmailed by the Nile Company to do dirty things like stealing jewels. Rex overheard the conversation, and now we're talking about Rex, and now we're talking about the truth and whatnot. We're talking about Jack Green, his former partner, who was murdered, as he says right here. I'm also joined by my good boy, Kitty, who is taking a nap in my lap, because he is a very good boy. Aren't you, Mr. Good Boy? Yes. Alright. Just as I suspected. Jack Green was murdered after all? That's right. Of course it was made to look like an accident, but he was murdered all right. So, Hyde, have you pieced it together? Can you guess who's behind it all yet? Sure I can. It was... Nile? Well, give the man a... Nile's been behind Condor all along. Make no mistake, it was Nile that got him in the end. Jack Green was poised to expose the link between Nile and Condor. But Nile got wind of this and decided to silence him for good. That's what you're implying, right? That's the outcome of his actions, at least, yes. But there's more, much more, that only he and I knew. A disturbing truth. What do you mean by a disturbing truth? The crime syndicate known as Condor began operating in the LA area. Mr. Tank, stop! Mr. Tank, stop! He's trying to pull out the wires that let me record. Okay. Must be as far back as 25, maybe 26 years ago. The LAPD figured out that Condor was behind all the robberies that had been happening. But, due to a distinct lack of material evidence, was never able to pin anything on them. They chose their targets and conducted their sales with such meticulous attention to detail that their crimes went virtually undetected by the police department. Condor always kept itself a few steps ahead, resulting in the LAPD coming up with squat. You understand, right? What I'm getting at here. Sure I do. You're suggesting there was an informant working from inside LAPD. That's what we figured. With nothing that would enable a case to be built against them, the robberies continued. That is until 13 years ago, when they simply dropped off the face of the earth. By then, my friend, Jack Green, was dead. And Hotel Cape West had closed down for good. After Jack died, I kept on after Condor, questioning and collecting information. But all that Jack had tried hard to uncover was buried and no longer news. I tried in vain to make the media listen to me, but the results were always the same. I wrote an article about Jack's death being the work of a criminal group, but, of course, it was branded a work of fiction and my name was mud. I'd been driven out of my profession. But they underestimated my determination. I wasn't about to roll over and play dead. I wasn't gonna let Jack's death be for nothing. I made it my mission to find and uncover the real crooks behind all the wrongdoing. The real crooks? Yeah, you didn't think Nile was operating by itself, did you? Make no mistake, if Nile continues to have the power and influence it does, it's only because there are so many people who use Nile to further their goals. Each and every one of them connected to Nile behind the scenes, yet hiding in plain sight, perverting the course of justice. Awkward staring. And head nodding and turning. I haven't forgotten when you compared me to an annoying fly, you know. But you're right. I spent my life endlessly buzzing amongst filth. I see you're really going with the metaphor, okay. No matter how much people try to bat me away, I just won't give up. Oh, you're committed to it. Well, I've got news for you. That's how I've been forced to live since Jack died, rubbing my hands over piles of poop. Menacingly. But even someone like me has values, things that drive them to keep going. In my case, there's one thing I've never let slip. Okay, you're really chatty today. Oh yeah, and what's this that I don't care about? Like, you've told me the good stuff. Nile Company, involved, crime syndicate. Now you're talking about what you care about, and it's like, Rex, I never liked you, man. Get out of here. He'll find the truth. I made a promise when Jack died. I vowed. Oh, he did it. He said it. He vowed a mine that whatever the truth turned out to be, and however unbearable it was, I wouldn't look away. I'd make sure the entire world learned of it. I think it's about time you told me exactly why you've been investigating Marie, Rex. Kyle, he did that already. Well, both her brother Mike and late husband Peter were involved with Condor. And they both died in similar car accidents. There was no doubt in my mind that Marie was directly connected to Nile. I became obsessed with finding out why they'd seemingly let her go and disappeared. I was convinced that they must have been up to something behind the scenes. The thing that surprised me the most, though, Hyde, was that somebody like you was living in this building. Jack had spent considerable time investigating your father. According to his research, the man whose body was found in the parking lot 25 years ago was in league with Condor and was bumped off because he knew the truth about Nile. What did you say? The hobbits. You think my dad was working for Condor? Jack seemed to think so, or at least that's what he wrote in his notebook. But like so many other things, there was no concrete proof to back up his theories. One undeniable fact was that, when your father was killed, the elusive Scarlet Star diamond that Condor had stolen went missing, vanishing without a trace. The Scarlet Star? Hyde? Nile is resurrecting the Condor name using Marie. I'm sure there's some kind of ulterior motive behind it. I've got nothing yet, but rest assured I'll get to the bottom of this if it kills me. Marie? Yes? We won't be seeing each other after today. I'll no longer be hanging around keeping tabs on you. I'll leave you with this piece of advice. Get yourself out of this town. Do it as soon as you can. I can't just leave. And even if I do you think Nile's just gonna forget about me? Not without my help. What do you mean? Come on, how do you think I've stayed alive this long while looking into them? Even an annoying fly like me has a few survival tricks up his sleeves. If you want a fighting chance of getting away, be at Union Station at 6 tomorrow morning. I'll wait for 10 minutes. If you don't show by then, I'll be gone. Right. This is the last I'll be seeing of your ugly mug too, Hyde. I'll hold back the tears. What are you gonna do now? Like you need to ask. I'll find something to keep me occupied around here. Trust me. Always the Joker. I tried, but I just can't work you out, man. After all, what would an annoying fly know anyway? Alright, you need to let it go now. Like, the joke has run its course. Hey, Rex. What now? I got something for you. My fist! I see. So you did have it. I thought as much. You mean you noticed it was gone? Of course I did. What do you take me for? Anyway, I'm out of here. Rex gets into the elevator and leaves the roof. Okay, well. What are you gonna do? I don't know. I need some time to think. You heard what he offered me though, right? Besides, nobody knows what will happen from now. Maybe I've got a chance. You think you're gonna be alright by yourself? I'll be just fine. I'm a lot stronger than I look, you know. I mean, you were just about to jump off the roof, so I don't know about that. And one more thing. Thanks for listening. I honestly thought I'd never be able to open up to anyone. That is, until you came along. Goodbye, Mr. Hyde. Marie gets into the elevator and leaves the roof. Marie. It's my pager. I better head back to my room. What's this? Dylon. Ooh, sprint at him. Hey, Mr. Hyde. What do you want? Nothing much. Well, it must be something or you wouldn't be hanging around outside my room. Steady on, I'm not up to anything. I ain't dropping no eaves. I'm just taking care of some maintenance. I thought it'd be a good time to check the second floor doors. Uh-huh. So anyway, Mr. Hyde, what was that all about just now with Rex? I saw, you know, he's a shifty character. I saw him head up to the roof in the elevator. What else did you see? What did he want up there? You know, stuff. But do you know what he did before he head up to the roof? I do. He took a trip to room 206, Marie's place. That's what. Don't you think it's a little strange? In my opinion, they're into something together. I got better things to do than listen to your crap, Dylon. Kyle is so weird. Sometimes he's so friendly, and then all of a sudden he's like a piece of shit asshole. Like, yes, Dylon is stooping. He can be creepy. He's saying he should mind his own business, but then all of a sudden he's just like, I don't know. Kyle's character just bounces around unpredictably. I couldn't care less what Rex wanted up there on the roof. You sure about that? I'm pretty sure you're actually quite interested. And when did you become a psychologist? I'm sure because you were up there too until just now. How could I possibly believe you're not interested after seeing that? Look, Dylon, I just want to know. What happened up there? Rex won't be coming round here anymore. That's what he said right before he left. You're right about me being up there too. He and I were putting the record straight. That's when he told me that he won't be showing his face around here again. Does that mean he got what he came for? I guess it does. Wasn't he looking into the insurance policy Marie's late husband set up? That's right, isn't it? Did he prove that she was trying to get away with fraud? No. And you know why? Because she wasn't involved in any fraud to begin with. Oh, okay then. She'll get the money, just like she deserves. I see. Dylon finishes talking and lurches off. Time to give Rachel a call. Red Crown, how may I help you? It's me. What's up? Ed wants to speak to you. Can't wait. I'll hand you over. Hyde, it's me. I got some news, courtesy of an old friend of mine at the LAPD. It's about the possibility of Condor having made a return to the scene. Sources within the LAPD seem to think this is a warning in response to mayoral candidate Hugh Speck's planned campaign against organized crime. Warning? Yes, a blatant warning made by Nile. It's their way of saying that if the police choose to strike against them, they've got their own counterstrike ready to be deployed. Hang on, why would Nile use the resurrection of Condor as a retaliation against the LAPD? It doesn't add up. An old friend of mine on the force once let slip that, with regards to Nile, there's something the LAPD aren't letting on. And it concerns Condor. Whatever it is, they certainly don't want it to be made public. Ed, Do you think there's any way you can get more information on that? More? I suppose if there's any more to be had, it might be possible. I've been unearthing some facts of my own. You have? Listen, Ed. There was a guy 13 years ago who thought he'd discovered a link between Nile and Condor. He wound up dead, but a friend of his told me my dad may have been somehow involved. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Perhaps if I extend the net to include what Frank Raver was doing, we might get lucky. It'd be helpful. Condor, Nile, and now the LAPD. 25 years ago, the Scarlet Star disappeared at the same time my dad died. What the hell is connecting all these things? My buzzer suddenly sounds. Who's that? It's you. I have something I'd like to ask you, Mr. Hyde. What is it? I just heard something from Dylon. He told me that you, Rex, and Marie from room 206 had a little gathering on the roof. Not long ago either, was he right? What if we did? I don't see that it's got anything to do with you. I thought I made it clear when we last spoke. You were supposed to keep your nose out of these things. I thought we reached an agreement that you would no longer interfere. I distinctly remember telling you to avoid contact with the people in that picture. Right, you did say something like that. But I don't remember us coming to any kind of agreement over what I'd do. Oh, you don't, do you? Don't let your desire for truth come between me and my investigation, Mr. Hyde. Look, I'm not out to get in your way, all right? It's not like I woke up and decided, better chat with Rex and Marie on the roof. Then what was your reason for talking to them? Sorry to be the one to break this to you, Frank, but we've got a similar agenda. We both need to find something out before leaving this dump. I beg your pardon. I just happened to have a few questions I needed to ask them. So I went ahead and did. Simple as that. You had questions. Would you care to tell me what you asked and why? No. No. That's why I'm asking. Well, as it happens, I have some questions for you first. You and Dylon seem very keen to find out what we talked about up there. Why is that? That's because I'd like you to know that I've been looking into you too, Frank. Not only you either. I've done some research on Kathy McGrath's murder that happened here 13 years ago. And last but not least, I've been looking into the elusive Condor. So that's how it is. And what, may I ask, have you found out? Pretty much everything you know. Pretty much everything, all of it. I know everything. I seriously doubt that, Mr. Hyde. There's no way you've been able to obtain the same level of information as me. I think it's about time you stopped exaggerating. I'm aware of the fact you were a detective and you made your way here from Manhattan. But I was on the LAPD when the incident occurred, and I've been investigating ever since. There's no way on earth you could be more informed than I am, Mr. Hyde. That's right, you keep telling yourself that, old man. I know quite a lot about the incident, and about your past to boot. But let's see just what you think you know. Tell me what you know. I know Niles behind Condor. The last guy who tried to expose this connection wound up in the morgue. See, we're just teaching him things now. He's like, really? I didn't know that. Mr. Hyde, whether that's the truth or not, it doesn't answer my question. Don't sweat it, I found out plenty about your past. I know that when you were in your 40s, you were singled out in an internal investigation. I see. It seems I may have been a tad hasty judging your talents, Mr. Hyde. Yes. Oh, my talents of calling Rachel and having her do all my work for me. Behind the scenes of every great detective is a woman who answers all the questions and does research behind the scenes, and we don't know how she does it, but she does it like magic. How did you make so much progress in your investigation, may I ask? Didn't I already tell you? We share a similar agenda. We both want to find something out before leaving here. You're set on finding out what happened in the incident 13 years ago. And I'm looking into another incident that happened here a long time ago. Really? And which incident would that be? One that happened 25 years ago. Well, mine's 45 years ago. Well, mine's 250 years ago. That incident? Why so surprised? Because I never expected you to say you were looking into the incident of 25 years ago. Mr. Hyde, tell me, what are you trying to discover? Something. To be precise, I want to find the Scarlet Star that went missing from Hotel Cape West. Did you say Scarlet Star? How the hell did you learn about the Scarlet Star? Oh my god. Let's just take a step back and summarize this conversation. It has been. What did you ask? What do you mean, what did I ask? Why are you asking? Who do you think you are asking me what I ask? I'm asking you. Well, I know about 13 years ago. You know about 13, I know about 13. You know about 13, I know about 13. Well, I know about 25. You know about 25. How could you know about 25? You know about 25? Now we're all caught up. Of course! If I'm not mistaken, it was kept secured in the safe at Hotel Cape West. It was well protected there by the evil council, but by means beyond what I know, it simply disappeared. Only the hotel manager, Michael McGrath, was likely to know what happened. Now, Mr. Hyde, please tell me about how you came to know about the Scarlet Star. I heard it firsthand from Michael's son. He was told about it by his father, Michael, prior to his death. He was the one that sent me after it in the first place. So Michael is dead, am I right? Yeah, he died of an illness 3 years ago. Before he died, he had told his son who was responsible for the death of his wife, Kathy. It would appear that we have a lot to discuss, Mr. Hyde. You're probably right. I'm sorry, Mr. Hyde, but I'm gonna have to stop there for now. Let's meet again later and continue this conversation. Sure, probably for the best. Where shall we meet? Shall we say Lucky's Cafe at 5? That'd work. I'll be there. Until then, Mr. Hyde. Okay, well, it has been 24 and a half minutes, so about 25 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. So next time, we'll meet up with Mags, we'll meet up with Frank, and we'll see everybody. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye!